storming the Bastilles. People stormed the Bastilles, released prisoners from there. At that time, there were only 7 prisoners in that jail. That was eventually led to the French Revolution. So the incidence of criminal activities as part of illegitimate protest is not new. Now the government's reaction, the federal government with its history has always tended to solve political uprisings, protests with violence. They have inflicted more violence on the streets than the protesters could ever muster. The protesters had no guns. And so what we saw, what we have seen so far, especially from the Lekki to Plaza, is the police, the military, shooting on unarmed protesters and killing and maiming many of them. I heard from an interview this morning on BBC, the Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu saying that he did not order anybody to shoot anyone, and that if they had been shooting, it must have come from a different command, which was a grotesque, and that only one person was dead, which is a grotesque distortion of reality. From what we see, our own eyes, unless our eyes are light, there were so many people killed and so many people injured. And so the protesters, there are definitely criminal elements that invaded the ranks of the protesters, but it did not require the kind of violence, the kind of militarization of the situation as was done by the government. And their denial does not hold water. There's no plausible deniability. Nobody could muster those kinds of weapons with the kind of military uniforms in Nigeria to attack the protesters. So, on the whole, I think the government has perpetrated more violence, more lethality against the protesters than the protesters could ever muster in any particular circumstance.
Thank you so much. No, sir, you are with us. You just heard from the barrister. Could you please respond to what he has said? It's not new to everybody. He just kind of analyzed from the beginning to the present, the moment, where we are right now. So people crying everywhere that the government has now, they are now against the protesters who started with peaceful protest. I mean, it degenerated to some violence somewhere, along the line. But again, as he said, the Governor Sanwo-Olu in Lagos State came out to deny the allegations that the military have been shooting on innocent protesters. So, Nosa, what do you have to say about that?
Thank you, sir, for the invitation. I also use this opportunity to thank the barrister for his time and for also his contribution. I believe all of us have seen the images, the videos coming out of Nigeria, which of course is being circulated on social media and other platforms. But it's very, very disturbing to know that the Nigerian government would order the military, the Nigerian army, which I personally don't really see as the official Nigerian army anymore, because given the circumstances and the conditions and the way they operate and engage with the Nigerian public, particularly the incident of yesterday at Lekki toll gate, where protesters were shot, and there are evidence pointing to the government that they order the military to shoot peaceful protesters. I mean, situation at Oko prison and the Oko prison and
Sapler Road. The Sapler Road.
the state penitentiary or the federal penitentiary or something, I don't know which one. Anyways, based on reliable sources, information coming from reliable sources in Benin, what happened there yesterday, I think it was a coordinated, everything was well coordinated. And the decision for those prisoners to escape was based on an order from above. There was an order from above for those prisoners to be relieved because they had to use this, they want to use this as justification to deploy the Nigerian army in Benin, because this is part of the plan. I'm gonna name names now. Oshomole is part of these plans. Adams Aliyu Oshomole is part of these plans because they still can't digest the fact that Governor Obaseki defeated Pastor Osagie Zeyamu in the last Edo State governorship election. So it's part of their plan to create chaos in Benin because they know that next month Governor Obaseki will be sworn in as a new in his second term as the governor of Edo State. So they do not want, they just want to create chaos. This is not chaos because I myself have been in touch with people back home and my sources, and I've got all the informations and everything that's pointing to Oshomoles and his people within the APC. That's just the truth. And so it's very regrettable to see that our city has been degenerated to this level of crisis, because right now you can see everyone's been locked in back home in Benin. No one's going out. People are all crying. I've been calling home, talking to my family, my relative, and they're like, we don't know what's going on here, because they be like shooting, sporadic shooting everywhere. You know, they're like different people patrolling the streets, and some of them are wearing a Nigerian military uniform. We don't really know if they are really military officer, soldiers or whatever. They don't really know. It's like chaos. Everywhere it's so chaotic. Like looking at Lagos, the mayhem, the chaos, the confusion. It's just, there's an absolute breakdown of law and order in every part of Nigeria. And I cannot really point the finger, like how could they come to this conclusion? Because the decision to allow the military to open fire on innocent, non-violent protesters is something I still can't comprehend. I still can't comprehend this.
Got you. Thank you so much, my brother. That's kind of different, you know. The information you just released based on what you got from home, it's kind of different. But at the same time, it's okay. We're all going to digest it together. You know, we have expertise here, just like you, who is very conversant with both local and international politics here. You know, you have appeared in this program here on this broadcast. Is the truth that we always give out to the people. So even if they are missing anything, they will get it right from here. Ambassador Owaifo, you have listened to Barrister Ernest Izedo, man, from Dallas, spoke about the whole issue. He analyzed it from the beginning to where we are right now. The same thing with Nusa Iden from Germany. He has also equally analyzed it from the start to where we are at the moment. Sir, can you tell us what you know? Is there any new information that you have to tell the people? Barrister Ambassador Owaifo.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for having me. Although I just have about 2 minutes days more on your program. And the thing is that everybody is overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed with what has been happening for the past 2 days. But let me just quickly talk on the analysis that Nosa gave from Germany. First and foremost, I have to discredit that information. You see, when we are talking about APC, you have to be very clear. APC right now has two factions. We have the EPM that is forcing themselves to be APC members who are not recognized as members because they are under suspension. They are under suspension. So any act carried out by them cannot be blamed on the APC. The authentic APC has Barrister Anselm Ojesua as the chairman of the APC. And the EPM were a breakaway faction formed strictly for stomach infrastructure, which we all know about. So I just wanted to clear that when talking, we have to differentiate between the EPM, which as far as I'm concerned is a gang of miscreants and people who don't wish well for the Edo nation, completely distinct from the APC that is trying to rebuild themselves and that is chaired by Barrister Anselm Ojesua. So if you go and check the records, that authentic APC has been consistent. They even told us in the beginning that they have no candidate in the past election, and because of that, they did not even campaign for that candidate. They were not a part of the process, and the court has declared them as the authentic people. Now, to tell you, first of all, a lot of phone calls came to me yesterday, but I was very, very clear. My main concern is Edo State, and I want to specialize in Edo affairs. And the safety of Edo people is what is of constant concern to me, the Edo nation. So having said that, the things I know about the Edo case and what I'm going to say here, you can take it to the bank. It's a pity that your station cannot show videos. I would have been able to show you the videos of the mayhem in Edo State. Now, what happened is this. Protests have been going on for the past 2 weeks. They've been very, very peaceful. But now, according to the United Nations Charter, if the protest lasts for 30 days, then the United Nations has to intervene. And their intervention can be very, very wild and encompassing. One, they can send in United Nations peacekeeping troops, whether the government like it or not. So if we go back to the events of the last week,
I think he has some.
yes,
Okay.
to the last week. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hello?
We are hearing you. Go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
Hello?
Go ahead.
Yes. Yes. So, what I was saying, if you take it to the last week, when the protests were still very peaceful, the president of the Arewa, what do you call it? I don't know what to call them. Arewa group in the north. They came out that they still prefer SARS, and not only that, they said that any protest that would remove Buhari, they will declare war. All right. Then the second thing, Ambassador Hussein Komasi, the Nigerian ambassador for peace and social justice to the United Nations, equally came out and made a speech that during Obasanjo's time, nobody would have been able to protest, and that.
Okay, I guess the network again is having the same network.
I think
Yeah, he has
issues.
he has some issues.
Yeah, one point there. I think one point that the ambassador made was the intervention of the United Nations. It's a last-ditch effort before the United Nations can come in. There are so many procedural hurdles. For instance, you have to go through the United Nations Security Council. And the home government, it's not true that the home government is the home government's consent is not required. It is required because the United Nations is essentially a peacekeeping force. If people on the ground do not agree, you are going to move them into a very hostile environment, and they don't have that capacity, the military capacity to take on the country's military against its wish. So the United Nations moves it's in a it's a peacekeeping role, and the troops are designed to do that, made up of various people with various militaries from various countries. Secondly, on the demonstrations in Benin and how the prisons were breached, I think apart from the criminal elements, there may have been some orchestration of that particular incident that happened in Benin. My theory, which I have no proof of, is that there was a lot of pent-up violence that was ready for the elections that did not materialize. And so most of those thugs, most of those people who were planning mayhem for the Edo elections, which, because of the vigilance of the people and their attention paid worldwide to the Edo elections, they could not carry out, are now using the opportunity of this apparent breakdown of law and order to carry out whatever nefarious activities they have planned for the elections. So my reading of that is that these elements, because these politicians apparently have signed up some of these hoodlums to carry out their nefarious activities, and they probably are using this as an opportunity to carry out those activities. The other thing is it appears that the federal government has decided that first of all it's going to be silent regarding whatever is going on in the hope that this will bubble away, and that strategy failed. Since that strategy has failed, they have moved to violence, and I think they are not ready for the consequences of that reaction, because it's all over the world. I mean, Wall Street Journal, CNN, everybody's carrying this news, seeing the defenseless people, defenseless young people being mowed down by the military, and I think this is going to be very disastrous and catastrophic for the Nigerian government. And I hope that people put the pressure put on the government, the pressure on people should accelerate their pressure on the government for reforms, because SARS is only a symptom of a sick system. Ending SARS is only a symptom. There are many other structural issues with the Nigerian federalism that ought to be addressed. Because why is it that we only have a federal police? Why don't states have police forces? And because of in a federalism is not a relationship of superior and inferior. It's a relationship of coordinated governments who have authority, power, and influence in their spheres of government. They have the exclusive list in Nigeria, you have the concurrent list, and you have the list reserved for the federal government, for the state governments. Unless those powers are shared and the practice of federalism is done in such a way that every part of Nigeria thinks is getting a fair shake, we're in serious trouble. And you start that by revenue allocation. Let the states control and manage their resources and develop at their own pace. But the federalism we have right now is more of a unitary government, where the states are begging cap in hand to the federal government. The federal government controls too much resources in Nigeria. And he who pays the piper takes the toll until it's financial autonomy or independence for the component states. The federalism as we have it today is so imbalanced. There's never going to be a true federalism, and there's going to be this resentment. There's a resentment of certain parts of the nation where everybody thinks the other one is getting too much. For instance, if there's an appointment in Nigeria today to any position, nobody wants to look at the competence, the qualifications of the candidate. The first thing they want to look at, where is this person from? And that is a distortion of the way the federal government ought to be run. Where there is no fair shake between these various components, this kind of problem is going to always occur. And ending SARS protest is only a symptom of the larger structural issues that be there with the Nigerian federalism. I have to go. I have a hearing coming up at 1 o'clock.
Okay.
My brother, it's really nice to meet you. Thank you so much, Prince Ero, for inviting me to the program.
We would like to have you back again, maybe in our next broadcast. On Saturday, I hope to put this better, in a better form. But today there was some disturbance of internet connection and all that stuff.
My good wishes to the ambassador. My brother from Germany. Nice to see you and nice to meet you.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you. But I'm going to take some points that you left behind for us. We'll take it from there. We were actually going to talk about the policing, that is both local and federal policing, which is they call it what do you call it, Nusa? That's Nusa, help me out there. That was going to be our next topic, which is local policing. So that's what the barrister just talked about. But again, he has a lot of points that he raised, that the federal government's silence and all that stuff is of great concern. So what do you think about that? Now that the federal government has not made any proclamation regarding the mayhem that's going on, the disturbing activities of the protesters. So what do you have to say about that, Nusa?
Yeah, well, that's the silence you can see, like the barrister has just earlier said. The silence was actually like one of their strategies to study and observe how much momentum, how the protesters, how long, how much time they can really, try to garner this momentum and maintain the pace of the protest. So, but that actually ended up as a big failure, and which didn't come out. The result was really devastating. So now they came up with the idea to order the military to shoot on sight and kill innocent peaceful protesters. And now, but based on my own knowledge and understanding of this situation, they did not really have a clear picture of what the outcome and the reaction of their decision might be to the whole public and the whole world at large. So now it's like, Nigeria is pretty much in a state of the situation is messy. It's messy. There's an absolutely breakdown of law and order pretty much in all these affected states. So like in Lagos, in Edo, and Ondo and other states. So now the problem is how they are going to manage this situation and who ordered this shooting. Of course, everyone is now aware that the people in power, Buhari, because how could it be possible that such decision was made without the consent of Buhari, or rather without the authorization of there's no. I don't really understand who made this decision, but it is very obvious that this decision came from the top echelon of the government. So the chaos is not something I find very, very disturbing. And also, let me just add a little bit to what Mr. and the barrister had just said before he left. Now, you see, this has always been the issue that has been on the ground in Nigeria. I mean, since 1960s, there have been a series of agitations, and I mean, people have been agitating about this very issue. SARS, like you said, is not really like the only issue we have in Nigeria. It's not an issue. Of course, it's an issue, but it's not the only issue we have in Nigeria. SARS is just a byproduct of the bigger problems we have in Nigeria. It is an issue of the political structure, the order, how Nigeria is run, who runs Nigeria, how the power has been consolidated, how power has been accumulated in the hands of the very few individuals. This is a big issue. This has been a big issue in Nigeria. It's not just something that came up today. It's something that's been there for ages, and everyone has been agitating over this very issue. And to claim or to accept that there will be a reform, or the people in the structure, in the system, will allow a reform for us to have a free and balanced political order, a free and balanced power structure whereby the power can be shared between the federal government and the states, as the case should be in most federal in most federation system. I really doubt that it will never happen in Nigeria, because the problem we have in Nigeria is just beyond what most people can really see. Nigeria can never, with the way the system has been structured, with the federal system and the states, I mean, Nigeria can never exist. It can never sustain itself, because with the system we have in place is a system that denies justice to prevail. It's a system that denies equality to prevail, social justice. There's no way we can really see ourselves moving forward if we continue to do things in the way we've been doing, because we have greedy people, we have monsters, we have like barbarians, we have just take a look at what happened yesterday at Lekki. You can come to realize that Nigeria, the people running this country, they are insane, they are mentally insane, they are psychopaths. These people will never allow a true federalism to reign in Nigeria, whereby everyone get to devote, the federal government get to share power within among the states and amongst the local governments in Nigeria. It will never happen. That will never happen, because it will never happen. We have been agitating all this. So, in my best opinion, I see Nigeria as a country that can never move forward. Not until everyone or the people of Nigeria get to realize and accept that Nigeria can never move forward, and the only way we can move forward is for everyone to disintegrate. The country has to disintegrate. There is no way we can move forward. We can never move forward, because taking a look at last 2 weeks, there was some news reports coming out of Nigeria, particularly from Zamfara State, that the governor of Zamfara State and the Central Bank of Nigeria had acquired a gold worth of 5 billion naira from Zamfara State government. How could that be possible? So it is good for the Zamfara State to be able to keep their gold and ask the federal government, the Central Bank of Nigeria, to acquire this gold from them, and which they did. But in the oil in the Niger Delta or other natural resources, we do not have control over this. So you can see that there will never be a time where we will be able to coexist as one people, because if taking a look at Nigeria ethnic composition, you can say Nigeria is not a nation. Nigeria is not a nation state. Nigeria is just a British colonial creation that was imposed. This system has been imposed on us since 1960, and we've been struggling with this system from generation to generation. But it's just like this generation has gotten sick of the whole problem that has been accumulating since all these years. So it's not easy for us to coexist under this system. It's not easy for us to coexist and try to and see each other as equal, because the system itself wasn't built, wasn't designed for us to coexist on the basis of equality, on the basis of social justice. It wasn't designed for us to coexist under this system. So this is just something that we cannot accept. We must agree, and we must agree to disagree. But the truth remains the truth. Nigeria can never, and will never exist or sustain itself beyond what it is now, because we can see that there's nothing we can really speak of when it comes to Nigeria. There's nothing. We're talking about electricity, are we talking about education, or we're talking about security, or we're talking about science and technology, or we're talking about, there's nothing we cannot really speak anything good about Nigeria, because Nigeria has been designed in this way, and the only way for us to be able to live in peace is for the country to disintegrate. We have to disintegrate, and when the country disintegrates, we have to come to the conclusion that we can agree to disagree or to move forward, but in order for us to move forward, Nigeria has to disintegrate as a country. That's just the truth.
Oh, well, my God, my God. Thank you so much. Well, the issue here is complex. You know, you talk about a lot of things that were actually lined up for, various times of discussion, because, remember, we were supposed to be doing local policing today, but because of the prevailing issue with the protest, we have to kind of roll it back to discuss more on what's going on ground, which is the protest, that has now turned into violence and killings. So, whether whoever is involved in it, that we can't actually tell, we can't pinpoint that out, but we have that local policing on ground that we're still going to discuss at a different time. We also have what you just talked about now, restructuring. That was coming up actually. We have that restructuring also lined up as a subject that we're going to be broadcasting from this platform. Now, let me ask you this. First of all, I know we're not going to discuss restructuring today. Do you think Nigeria will ever, restructure back to the way it used to be? Because you said the British, not just you, many people are of the opinion that the British imposed Nigeria, on us. That is not supposed to be like that, based on the regions and all that stuff, so that bring us all together, So, but it's not supposed to be. We have various regions at the beginning that was operating, at different levels. And then, where they were, kind of technically independent on their own, But now they kind of, with that amalgamation, they brought us together as one Nigeria or something, and it has been creating a lot of problem, a lot of trouble. So, and that's why people have been clamoring that the country be disintegrated and return back to the regional system that we had, right after the British government gave us independence. Now we're going to discuss all that, next time. But I just asked that question quickly. Do you think Nigeria will be able to do that? How do you think that's going to be possible for it to restructure? Because this restructuring, people have been talking about it, and nobody's listening. So do you think that's going to be a possibility?
Yeah, the point is, like I said earlier, we all know the history of Nigeria. For every Nigerian who knows the history of Nigeria, and in pre-colonial Nigeria history, and in post-colonial Nigerian history, we all come to the conclusion that Nigeria, given its current structure, and the people who have seen themselves are those that have been given the power, the right to run Nigeria, the affairs of Nigeria. The ruling class of Nigeria will never allow restructuring. One of the reason is this: if Nigeria is restructured, then it means the people who hold on to power today, the people who rule Nigeria today, because in Nigeria, I don't see Nigeria as a country where we have a true leadership. We have a bunch of psychopaths, people, self-centered people who just want to hold onto this country and its resources by every means necessary. Nigeria will never be restructured, because the issue of restructuring is not just an issue that just came up recently. It's been there for like ages. There has been like series of agitation, calling for restructuring over and over, even till recent time when before Goodluck, former president of Nigeria, Goodluck Jonathan, left office, he called for a confab meeting or confab conference, I would say, and you could see the resistance, particularly from the Fulani people of Nigeria, especially the Fulani ruling class, the Fulanis are the problem of Nigeria today. There may be other people behind them, working hand in hand them, yes, but the people who have chosen to keep Nigeria under their feet, who see Nigeria as their own private property, as the Fulani, the ruling class among the Fulanis, they have chosen to keep Nigeria the way it is. And like I said, they work hand in hand with other peoples, and of course, that is quite known to some of us. But Nigeria can never restructure because the people who hold onto power in Nigeria will never allow Nigeria to restructure itself. We cannot trust these people. They are not trustworthy. They are not people with integrity. They don't have any track record of moral integrity or whatsoever. So Nigeria can never restructure itself. The only long-term solution for Nigerians, if everyone really wants to live in peace and develop at their own pace, the only long-term solution, in my best opinion, based on my own knowledge and observation of the history of Nigeria, is for every country, everyone in Nigeria to disintegrate. Every nation states, every ethnic nations within the modern contemporary border of Nigeria, we all have to disintegrate. We have to disintegrate. We have to accept this fact that we cannot coexist because we all have different needs. So 60 years of experiment has yielded such a disastrous outcome. So how can we choose to continue to go on this path if 60 years of experience has demonstrated that Nigeria itself as a country can never
come together, yeah.
Restructure itself.
Right.
Nigeria cannot reform itself. Who is going to reform Nigeria? If we have to ask for reform right now, who is going to reform Nigeria? Of course, it's obvious that the people in power, those who hold on to power, are going to be the one who want to reform Nigeria. And how are we going to trust these people that they will reform Nigeria in a free and fair order? It's never going to happen because they will never allow it. There have been calls for the radical reforms, power sharing, resource control, and all of these issues. But it has met a stiff resistance, particularly from the ruling class of Nigeria, which are the Fulanis. They are the problem. They are responsible for the problem, for holding Nigeria backward till this stage. They are responsible for it. They are responsible for it. There is no way we can have that. Look at the military, Nigerian military, what they call Nigerian military, which in my opinion is not even Nigerian military. This is a Fulani controlled military. It is controlled by the Fulanis. Look at the central bank of Nigeria. They hold on to the central bank. Look at the natural resources of Nigeria, the oil and gas. They hold on to it. Look at all the revenue collected in Nigeria. The Fulani hold on to all of this because they want to keep Nigeria the way it is. Because they have been subjugating us for so long. And I mean, at this point, we all got sick and tired of it. And we just want to end this relationship. There's no way we can restructure Nigeria. That's my own best opinion. There's no way we can do that. The best way we all can live in peace and develop at our own pace, because we all have different needs. We have to disintegrate. Nigeria has to disintegrate along ethnic lines. That is just what I need to categorically make clear to the viewers. And because there's no way we can do this, it's not going to be possible. There's no way. The resistance against restructuring is no longer something we have to debate. It's now become too obvious to everyone.
Thank you so much. Again, you see, this topic is expanding, continuously. It continues to expand. you are saying that it is going to be practically impossible for Nigeria to disintegrate. And then at the same time, you also agree that the best way for this country to exist is to disintegrate. So, okay, but you are looking at the impossibility of us disintegrating from Nigeria. And then you are equally saying that the best way, is to disintegrate. So now, who will take up the responsibility to do that? Because I believe that this is a matter of constitution. It's a constitutional issue, and you just raised one point that those people holding on to power, those who are holding on to power right now, as Nigeria, in post independence, has been the Fulanese. But I stepped back for a minute and then I thought about one thing. In this new democracy that we are in Nigeria, we started in 1999. That's like about 21 years ago. Is that correct? Okay. 21 years ago, both the Southerners and the West combined, let's say it is supposed to be a northern part and then the southern part. The Southerners have had opportunity of ruling this country, like about 14 years out of the 21 years. So why is it that we were unable to utilize that opportunity that we had to do something about it? I'm talking about the past president, like Obasanjo and Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, right? So, but they were unable to do something. And people were still crying and clamoring for what we are all talking about now. The hunger remains the same. Southerners remain, the southern part of Nigeria remain underdeveloped compared to what is going on in the northern area. And yet we have two people who will be president for put together. It's like about 14 years, right? And yet there's nothing to write home about that. So I will leave that one, that subject for another day, because so that we won't digress too much. Now, coming back to the discussion on ground, talking about the protesters, which started, very, very good, in a peaceful manner, then later on degenerated to violence. And then we are now hearing rumors here and there that the counter attack that is coming in, some are saying that it's backed by the government. That attack is backed by the government. So I am not particularly sure of what to say about that, because I would say most of it are rumor. Because I wish there's either president himself or his spokesman has come out to talk to the people about what is going on. Then we cannot tell who is actually behind the counter attack, what is going on. I'm not particularly happy about the jailbreak to release criminals out of jail into the society. That we are crying that the society is ill, and now we're going to bring back in criminals that were jailed because of their criminal activities, right? So what do you expect? I equally heard a rumor. I got a rumor yesterday that one of those prisoners that was released has even started carrying a weapon, that he has killed somebody. I don't know how far that is true. So all these are the problem. What is going to be? What do you think is going to be the end of this protest? You think there's going to be some sources regarding the protest, that people what they're clamoring for is going to be given by the I know they tried by abolishing the SARS, which was the main goal of this protest, which the federal government responded immediately and disbanded SARS. Okay, now with all this, because the whole thing is so confusing, do you think what do you think is going to be the end result of this exercise?
Let me just quickly throw some light into what earlier in the conversation regarding the two Southerners who have ruled or who had the opportunity to President Goodluck Jonathan. We all know that Fulani they have always been under the influence of Fulanis from the very beginning. They've always been under the. So if they had the opportunity to make all those changes that we are all talking about now, but it could not be. There was no way they could make all this change, because to be under such an influence, to be under Fulani influence was something impossible for a Southerner like as Obasanjo or Goodluck Jonathan to come out and say, okay, we need to make all this. But this is something impossible for them. It was just something beyond them. It's not like they probably didn't have the idea. Even Goodluck Jonathan, before he left, he called for the conference.
But sorry to cut you right there. But they were the president, for God's sake. I mean, don't they have the power, to determine whatever will happen in the country as somebody who is in control? If they were, I mean, you were saying that they were influenced, by the Fulani. Who is that person that had the power to influence? I mean, the most powerful person in the country, who is the head and the leader of the country?
That's the nature of politics. I mean, you can't just expect. Okay, if we take a look, for example, at what's it called? Umaru Musa Yar'Adua.
Yeah.
When Umaru Musa Yar'Adua was when he passed away, actually what was supposed to be done constitutionally, President Goodluck Jonathan, who was the vice president, there was supposed to be a peaceful transition of power. Oh shit. That's tough.
So and that didn't happen. There was supposed to be a smooth transition of power, but it did not happen. So that was my take on that. That we had two people who had the opportunity, to have changed the dynamics, talking about this restructuring, because they had the power in their hands. Now, I wonder who else could be able to influence them, as the leader of a nation. Then you will have some other people, which we are trying to eradicate now. That's godfatherism, it's godfatherism, because if somebody else is having the authority over somebody who had the authority, that's a problem, So that's what I'm talking about. Anyhow, I'm not gonna dispute that now. I just kind of threw that in because we are saying restructuring, and that the only way it can happen is from the federal government, and we are saying that it didn't happen. It's not happening because of those who are in charge. But then that's the reason why I brought that in, to remind everybody that yet we have two people that has led this country for, put together, it's like about 14 years out of 21. So you cannot tell me that they did not have the opportunity to do what they got to do. But now that the power has shifted back to the north, and then controlled by the Fulani people, so it's going to be difficult, obviously, yes, for us to do negotiation regarding restructuring. So it looks like Nusa just exited the program, probably because he has said earlier that he's not going to be long here in today's broadcast. And yes, I know that everybody is busy. That's the reason why I didn't want to do the midweek show. But again, we have tried. It's been successful so far, so good. So if Nusa is not coming back, and the ambassador also has exited, Barrister Idele-Ero has equally given his own excuse to leave as well. We have tried. Their contribution is very, very useful and is being appreciated. I hope the listeners at home, wherever you are, you have heard from the people, the panelists here today, learned people, very brilliant presentation by Idele-Ero. Is a seasoned lawyer, local and international, barrister, ambassador Matthew Biki Wifo. You all know him. He is very, very vast in both local and international politics as well. So, and he is kind of concerned with the Edo state politics at the moment because that's where we are from. And even though he's not home, he's in diaspora, but yes, he's been doing very well in projecting the image of Edo to the whole world. Now, Nosa himself, on the other hand, is very knowledgeable and vast in local and international politics. So, all of them has done well. I'm going to just thank them for coming today. Hopefully, if they are still listening to me, that on Saturday, we'll probably be free with people who go to work and all that stuff. So on Saturday, we will come back again to continue where we stopped this discussion. I want to thank each and every one of those watching from home, wherever you may be at this time. We appreciate you from this platform. We hope that you continue to join us and spread the news that there's a new platform that comes out every Wednesday and Saturday to do but nothing but giving you the true information of what is on ground. So this is where we draw the curtain today. We appreciate all of you for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/user/again Joe-Ero, Joeero 100. That is 100 in front of Joe-Ero. So that's our, and it's on the screen right now showing the YouTube address. So please go ahead and subscribe to the channel so that you can always get information, whenever we are coming on air. Like I said, this is the only session where you're going to get the true information the way it is from direct source. So again, I thank all of you for your time. We expect you to join us again same time next week Saturday, which is 11:30 a.m. Central Time, US and Canada, and then 5:30 p.m. Nigeria and UK. So either way, wherever you are, just please check your time and apply it to what I just mentioned, the time. And do not forget, once again, subscribe to my channel. My YouTube channel is www.youtube.com/user and then /again Joe-Ero, Joeero 100. I want to bless you, your businesses, your work, and your family, that whatever you touch this week shall be good. God, you will receive the blessings of God. Until we see you back again on Saturday, it is Joe Brown Idele-Ero saying goodbye. Thank you. Bye-bye. Lord we pray.